I'm Kerry Gray, and I offer the Poetic Experience. It's a deep dive with questions. I find out who you are, what your story is, and I piece that together as a poetic reflection. So the poetic reflection is captured in words, laser engraved onto wood, and it's something that you can hang in your space to remind you of the value that you offer, whether in your work, in your life, or in your relationship. So the process is threefold. We start by asking you questions, really digging into your story, your narrative, where you came from, where you're going, whether as an individual or a couple or within a team, to get to know you, your story, but also to dive deeper under the layers that you may not look at all the time. I sometimes get the question, what do you do with this etching, this custom narrative that captures your story? Well, you hang it in the space that is most aligned to what it's about. So if we created it with your relationship in mind, you might put it in the living room, and it acts as a reminder of what the value that you have for each other. What's the value of your relationship? So really, it's a reminder, and in that sense, it's both commemorative and also draws you back into that story, back into that value. So the most common moments to capture is buying a new home. And for these couples, I've noticed that it's just really important to remember this time forever. So the process of buying a new home can be exciting, it can be joyful, all the things, right? What's really important, I think, for people to realize is that they're in the middle of this really important time in their life. And whether or not they realize that, that's something that can be captured, and that years later they will want to look back on as a cohesive object, as an heirloom, as a commemorative object that they can hang in their house. And that's what I'm doing here, is I'm capturing their story. I take your moment in time and I transform it into this keepsake, this story that you can read again and again, that records that moment in your life. For example, for realtors, you might imagine your clients finding their dream home. And so you're not selling them a house, you're putting them into their dream home. It's different. And so imagine I'm asking you questions about that process. It's the same thing if I were to ask them questions about what it feels like to land in their home.